we all doing? It's a day later than I intended on coming up today. I wanted to come out last night to do my thoughts on yesterday's game, but had a few things on. So a day later it is. But Rovers back to winning ways with a win over Rochdale yesterday. And on the whole, I thought it was an enjoyable game, to be fair, from both sides. I thought the game was a good advert for League Two football. And yeah, overall, just I think two not the best teams going at it, but an entertaining game, and certainly an improvement on Saturday from the referee. I thought the referee was pretty spot on, if I'm honest. Didn't really give many cards, let the game flow as much as he can. I thought he was pretty sound. Again, that's part of the problem. It's inconsistent. As I said this Tuesday, some referees are good, some referees are bad. And most of the time in Leagues 1 and 2, you get the shit ones. But Rovers really did, certainly in the first half, it was kind of similar to certain games we've had, I think back to certainly the Oldham game early on in the season where we were sort of peppering them with a lot of chances. Belshaw did have to make a couple of saves in the first half, but overall I think it was Rovers in the ascendancy, no doubt about that. And the goal from Anthony Evans from the free kick, the Bristolian Beck, someone called him on Facebook, I thought was pretty spot on. A great free kick, keeping it even move. Just pinpoint free kick. And as the game wore on, there was a few lull periods, but I was never under the impression that Rochdale were going to really cause as much of a threat. They did have a guy up front who I think he was above 5'9". I'd be surprised. He was a very, very short player, but that low centre of gravity really did cause Rovers some problems, and he would beat 3 or 4 players quite easily. And even with a couple of players missing, obviously through suspension, Rovers did do well, I thought, defensively. I didn't think Rovers would concede, and how wrong I was. But the sort of the makeshift backline, Rovers did quite well. And certainly for the first sort of hour of the game, I was quite impressed with Trevor Clark. Sort of the last period of the game, he kind of went back into his shell a bit. Well, I thought Trevor Clark, for a good chunk of the game, did quite well. I said Luca Hall. Someone said after the game, well, what did he do? But I think in that position, you've got to look at someone who goes, well, what did they do wrong? Certainly in a right back where your game is judged on your mistakes, essentially. And I don't think he really did any. And he's a young lad still. He's only, 19, 20, still learning the game. So he's going to be coming through. And I hope he can finally nail down a first team spot, because I think his hard work deserves it. I think it definitely shows having pace at the back in Trevor Clark and Luca Hall really does help. Like Josh Grant, he's not the quickest player, but having a bit more pace, it does make a difference. Even when Junior Brown plays on the left, we can kind of come back, and when he's tracking back, it does make a difference. We did still kind of struggle with balls down our channels, but eventually I think that'll come around. I mean, it has been half a season now, but there you go. Well, it's been more like 2 years we've struggled with balls down the channel, but there we go. So going into half time, I kind of thought, well, do you know what I mean? We'll see it out. I don't really think Rochdale didn't cause us any problems, to be honest with you. We get the early goal in the second half, and Collins seems to have found his scoring boots. We'll just give it a few more games, see how he gets on. There's goals in back-to-back games for him, which I didn't even give him any mention on Tuesday. I was just so infuriated on Tuesday, but that's back-to-back goals for Collins. Great strike, good celebration as well. The green and white quarters slipping out. I think Liverpool had a kit that was green and white quarters back in the 90s. Green and yellow quarters, where it was had on yesterday, that was for the homeless charity, or no home shirts homeless charity. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a really, really sound charity. Invariably, there was people who took offence to this, because that's what some people do these days. It seems to be everywhere these days, but it's how people can get their knickers in a bunch about that. I don't know, answers on a postcard, please, or a text. And then as soon as Rovers got their second goal, it's just a simple goal we let in, and again, it's the same problems down every channel. The ball goes across, and credit to their striker for getting the ball. The ball was kind of under him and just behind him, and just managed to get it over Belshaw. And then it's 2-1, and you're thinking, God, here we go again. It just felt like a carbon copy of the Tranmere game. That was the game, really, that I could kind of sort of pin back to and think, yes, this game is pretty similar to, was the Tranmere game where we pissed that away. And then they get a penalty. Pablo Martinez came on at half-time. in place of Connor Taylor. We hear got injured, which is another problem at the back for Rovers. So we are getting quite thin on the ground at the back. My only worry is that Barton won't change from a back three. So if we went to a back four, I think Rovers would be fine. If you put Anderton in there and you can maybe slot maybe Whelan or Coots in there just for a game. But he's just going to stick with the back three, isn't he? Certainly the three centre-halves. I just know that's what he'll do because he's quite stubborn in that. So makes it 2-2 from the penalties. Oh, yeah. Penalty given away. I don't know if I mentioned that. Martinez comes at just an unnecessary tackle to me. He just didn't need to do it. The ball was going away. The player wasn't running towards goal. He was running to the side. It's a stupid challenge. Sending back to Weston after that flipping challenge there. Because he certainly ain't ready. If he's making challenges like that. So what experience he gained last season seems to have gone right out the window. Because that was a shocking piece of defending. 2-2 put away from the penalty. Rovers don't have the best record of saving penalties, if I'm honest, but it's a lottery at the end of the day. And we're thinking, God, here we go. And then Rochdale were starting to get momentum going. I'm thinking they're going to end up winning this. But bit of patience down Rovers' left-hand side. 10 minutes later on, I was screaming for Harry Anderson to move. He wasn't moving. Then he just got in behind. Good ball in behind. It was Luca Hall that put him in. Got it under the keeper, 3-2. And that proved enough, to see Rovers over the line. We got a forfeit injury time for Aaron Collins. From first angle where I was, he looked offside. Looking at the replay, he was level by a good yard, but the angle he was. And in the end, the scoreline made it look routine for Rovers. And on the balance of play, I think Rovers did deserve it. I think Rochdale showed a lot more finesse and a lot more Shazam, if you like. But they didn't really do enough with the ball, and which is sounds a bit like no shit Sherlock could work this out, but that's why they didn't win the game. Rochdale didn't do enough with the ball when they had it. Rovers showed a lot more grit and determination. So because it was kind of a bit of a polar opposite of the way that both teams played. It was a good game of football, I thought, and it gives Rovers a platform now. So I'm going to go into the next couple of games, but I'm going to talk about a few players that I was really impressed with. I thought Aaron Collins was excellent. I think he got man of the match. If he didn't, he should have done. Yeah, I think he did get man of the match. I thought he was excellent. Really is starting to find his feet now, I think, and hopefully we can see more of him. I have to yawn. It's been like for the last 20 minutes. Try not to yawn, and then when you need to yawn, it's got to be done. But yeah, Aaron Collins fully deserved his man of the match. He was great. Nicholson, had a good game yesterday, worked hard, can't fault his work, he's worked really hard. So I think he's just, I don't know, it's just his end product. I just want to see a little bit more from him. I said Trevor Clark for a good chunk of the game did really well. Luca Hall did really well. Nick Anderton I thought did very well. Just defending for the goals maybe wasn't too great, especially the first one. But he's not. He's like the Rovers team, inconsistent. And that's the problem with us at the moment. We're just very inconsistent. But overall, a very good game. Good day at the office for Rovers. And yeah, not really much to complain about, which is nice. So let's look ahead. Next weekend, Scunthorpe. It's going to be a tough one. Scunthorpe, they're fighting for their lives at the bottom. They're one of if you say 4 teams at the bottom who I think are absolute dog, along with Oldham as well. So on paper, Rovers should win this one. I am going to be up there next weekend, free coach travel, so I'm going to take advantage of that. I definitely wouldn't be going if under the circumstances. But the supporters club put a statement out in the week saying that we've sold more coach tickets than we have match tickets. So I think people need to get on and buy a match ticket before. I mean, Rovers won't sell out. I think the way I know holds around 1,000. We ain't going to take 1,000 out there, but I think we'll take a good. If we sold 7 coaches at 50 people a time, that's at least 350 people. Probably adding a couple hundred more on that pay on the day. So you're probably looking around sort of 5 to 6, 700, wherever's going there. And if you're all paying on the day, it's going to be a nightmare. So we should beat Scunthorpe. The problem I always have with Rovers, and we're winning yesterday, as much as delighted I am for Rovers for winning yesterday, is we won't be able to follow it up. And we always seem to win 3 games and lose 2. Or win 2 games, draw a couple, then lose 2. It's always 3 steps forward and 2 steps back, which is why Rovers haven't gone anywhere in the last 10, 12 games. I think Rovers have lost 4 of their last 13, which is a little bit more steady than what we were in the beginning of the season. But we're still no better off than where we were in mid-September, end of September, because we're just not consistent enough. And this is why I think people are kind of, well, myself really, if other people are great, and if people want to disagree with me, that's fine, be reasonable, but that's why I can't really kind of get too jacked up. And I am happy, of course I'm happy, for God's sake, but it's like, okay, yeah, we won today, but let's win next week and the game after that. Let's try and get 3 league wins in a row. I don't think we've done that this season, or maybe once, I'm not sure. But it'd be good to just keep a bit of momentum going. And then, look, playoffs is gone for me. If we can get in the top half, I'll take it. It's a failure. Right? I said, beginning of the season, we must get playoffs as a minimum. I don't think we're going to do it. If we do, then great. But realistically, I cannot see us doing it. If we can get a top half place, then I'll take it. Fine. So top half is not unrealistic. If you're trying to say we're going to get a top 3, then I don't know. And then I think you might be on something. But I think top half is realistic. I'd like to be... Look, I don't think it's unrealistic for Rovers to shoot for the top half by New Year. If we win the next couple of games, it's relatively tight. I think we're only 3 points off of 11th, so why not? Why can't we shoot for the top half for the new year? Not an unrealistic target. Some winnable games coming up. And there's fingers crossed we can just keep this going. Because I think there's a good team in there. Are they coached properly? Not to the fullest extent. I think it's similar to the team last year. Not in the terms of the way they play, but they're not bad players. They're not coached properly. So all in all, a positive afternoon for Rovers yesterday. Sees Rovers up to 15th, and we're all being well. We'll kick on from this one. So thanks so much for watching this one. I'm absolutely shattered. You can just tell from my eyes. I did a bit of rum last night, so a bit again in the festive spirit. Not my cup of tea with lemonade, so I'm going to try it with a bit of Coke next time. Liquid Coke. I don't know, don't do that. So fingers crossed, everyone has a good rest of your weekend, and I will see you all very, very soon. Have a good rest of your weekend. I've just said that twice. I'm going mad. I'm going to get out of here. See you all very, very soon. Have a good rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.